Love After 50, Top 10 Struggles. Couples face and how to overcome them together. Welcome. This isn't just another video, it's a guide for couples over 50 to rediscover happiness, love, and purpose together. Stay with me till the end, and you'll gain real-life examples, inspiring quotes, and proven tips to overcome the biggest challenges at this age. As Viktor Frankl said, those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. Watch closely. This could change your life and relationship forever. Let's begin. Here are just the headings for your 10 issues targeting couples over 50. 1. Communication gap. 2. Emotional distance. 3. Decline in physical intimacy. 4. Boredom in routine life. 5. Health issues. 6. Financial stress. Feeling distant from grown-up children. Jealousy or insecurity. Lack of appreciation. 10. Emptiness or lack of purpose. Communication gap. Have you ever sat across from the person you've spent a lifetime with, only to realize that silence has replaced conversation? That somewhere along the journey, words turned into routines, and hearts stopped speaking to each other. This silence is not just an absence of noise, it is the slow erosion of connection. If this scene resonates with your own life, stay with me, because what we are about to explore is one of the most silent yet most destructive forces that invade relationships after the age of 50, the communication gap, and how you can bridge it lovingly and consciously before it is too late. The communication gap, by its very nature, is deceptive. It does not announce itself with arguments or loud departures. It manifests quietly, in the way couples stop asking about each other's day, in the way "I love you" is replaced by "Did you take your medicine?" or "What's for dinner?" It is not the absence of words, but the absence of meaning in those words. After decades of raising children, facing hardships, and settling into routines, many couples begin to assume that they know everything there is to know about one another. This assumption creates a dangerous comfort, a belief that no further effort is needed, and soon the partner sitting beside you begins to feel like a stranger who simply shares the same house. Scientific research supports the deep emotional cost of this silence. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that couples over 50 who engage in regular, meaningful conversations report 30% greater emotional satisfaction and significantly lower feelings of loneliness and depression. Dr. Carla Bergen, a senior therapist in geriatric relationships, noted, "In long-term relationships, communication is not just about talking, it is about being emotionally present. Without that, even 30 years of marriage can feel like solitary confinement." Consider the story of George and Lillian, who had been married for 32 years. After their children left for college and George retired, they began to realize how silent their home had become. Mornings passed with the clinking of spoons and the rustle of newspapers, but not a single meaningful word. One evening, while walking side by side in near silence, George turned to Lillian and said, "I miss hearing your thoughts." That simple sentence shattered the distance between them. That night, they spoke not of bills or their children's achievements, but of their own fears, regrets, memories, and love, emotions long buried beneath years of routine. Sometimes the greatest form of love is to simply ask, "How was your day?" and truly listen to the answer, goes a saying often repeated by counselors, and it's true. Active listening is a forgotten art in many long-term marriages. As Søren Kierkegaard once remarked, the greatest hazard of all, losing oneself, can occur very quietly in the world, as if it were nothing at all. So too can one lose a partner, not through betrayal, but through years of silence. Rebuilding this connection doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small moments, asking thoughtful questions, remembering to listen, resisting the urge to interrupt. Try this. Each evening, ask your partner one question. What did you think about today that you didn't say out loud? You might be surprised by the doors it opens. It's never too late to reintroduce your voice into the relationship. And more importantly, it's never too late to hear your partner's voice again. the one that once made your heart race. Because, even after decades, love still speaks. We just need to listen again. Emotional distance. There comes a moment in many long-term relationships when the house is not empty, yet it feels hollow. When your partner is just a few steps away, but their presence no longer feels like warmth, just proximity. This silent emotional detachment is not always visible, yet it quietly steals the joy from companionship. If you've ever looked at the person lying next to you and felt miles apart, though physically close, you've encountered what countless couples face after 50, emotional distance. It does not arrive suddenly but grows slowly, like fog, settling over the heart. Emotional distance is the slow drift of two hearts that once beat in harmony. Over the years, responsibilities multiply, raising children, handling finances, dealing with careers, and managing crises. In the midst of this hustle, couples often forget the essence of us. They function as a team, but no longer connect as lovers or soulmates, the emotional check-ins that once came naturally. How are you feeling today? Or, you seem quiet, want to talk? Vanish. What remains is a mechanical relationship, one that fulfills duties but not desires. Scientific research backs this quiet pain. A 2014 study published in the International Journal of Aging and Human Development found that emotional intimacy is a stronger predictor of late-life relationship satisfaction than physical intimacy or financial stability. When emotional closeness deteriorates, individuals report increased levels of depression, restlessness, and even physical health decline. Dr. Miriam Castle, a renowned relationship psychologist, states, "When couples stop expressing emotional vulnerability, the relationship doesn't just stagnate, it begins to quietly die." Let us reflect on the story of Robert and Elise, married for 29 years. Their life was orderly, breakfast at 8, chores divided, bills paid on time. But Elise began to feel unseen. Robert, though kind, no longer asked how she truly felt. He noticed her tears less and celebrated her joys with less warmth. One evening she whispered, "You're here, but I feel invisible." That night, for the first time in years, Robert sat with her in silence, then reached for her hand and said, "Tell me what I stopped hearing." That one sentence reopened a door that had long been shut. Philosopher Rollo May once said, "Love is the capacity to take care, to protect, to nourish. If you are not capable of generating that kind of feeling, you are not truly alive." Emotional connection is not just about feelings. It is about being awake in your partner's world. It is about remembering what makes them smile, recognizing their fears, and offering a presence that says, "You're seen." To restore emotional closeness, begin with presence. True, undivided attention. Sit beside your partner without distraction. Ask them, "What's something weighing on your heart that I haven't asked about lately?" Don't try to fix it, just listen. The power of healing often lies not in solving, but in sitting together through silence. In the second half of life, emotional intimacy becomes even more precious. The world may grow quieter, children may move away, but your hearts, they don't have to grow apart. You can still fall in love again, not with someone new, but with the same person, newly seen, newly felt, newly cherished. Decline in physical intimacy. There's a quiet grief that many couples experience after the age of 50, a fading closeness that once spoke not just of desire, but of love, reassurance, and unspoken understanding. It begins subtly. Fewer kisses, longer silences in bed, and eventually, a complete withdrawal from physical affection. Yet no one says a word. The touch that once comforted becomes a memory. This is the struggle of declining physical intimacy. Not merely the absence of sex, but the vanishing of physical expressions of love that once made life feel vibrant and emotionally secure. Physical intimacy, particularly in later years, takes on a deeper meaning than mere passion. It is a reaffirmation that, "I still see you, I still choose you, and you still matter to me." However, age brings with it many changes: hormonal shifts, health conditions, joint pain, fatigue, and sometimes fear of inadequacy. These natural transitions often create distance, not because the desire disappears, but because many feel unsure how to express love in a body that no longer responds as it once did. Scientific research offers us valuable clarity here. A 2019 study in the Archives of Sexual Behavior found that while the frequency of sexual activity may decline with age, the desire for physical closeness remains strong well into the 70s and even 80s. What couples miss most is not necessarily sex, but touch, the holding of hands, an unexpected embrace, a warm hand on the back at the end of a hard day. Dr. Elaine Forster, a leading expert in senior intimacy, states, "As we age, physical affection becomes a language of security and presence. It tells us we are not alone in the world." Consider the story of Anwar and Salma, a couple married for nearly 35 years. After Salma's health began to decline, she often felt unattractive and withdrawn. Anwar, sensing her distance, respected her silence but missed their closeness deeply. One morning, while pouring tea, he gently reached for her hand and said, "I still think you're the most beautiful woman I know." Tears filled her eyes, not from pain, but from relief. That one sentence reminded her that physical intimacy is not about perfection, it's about presence and emotional reassurance. As philosopher Alan Watts once observed, to be touched is to be known, not just with the mind, but with the soul. Intimacy after 50 is not about reigniting youth. It is about deepening tenderness. It is about choosing to stay physically connected, even when life makes it harder to do so. To rebuild this bond, start by creating small rituals. Hold hands during a walk, give a back rub before sleep, or simply rest your head on your partner's shoulder while watching television. These gestures, though simple, whisper a profound message. You still matter to me. Intimacy is not lost through age. It is lost through neglect. And the good news? It can always be rediscovered. Even after decades together, there remains something sacred in a kiss, something healing in a hug, and something eternal in the gentle touch of someone who has loved you through every season. Do not let time silence that touch, for in it lives the kind of love that never grows old. Boredom in routine. Life, there is a peculiar kind of stillness that often enters relationships after the age of 50. Not a peaceful calm, but an emptiness that echoes through the quiet rituals of everyday life. The same conversations, the same meals, the same TV shows, repeated day after day until love begins to feel more like habit than passion. This is the creeping fog of boredom in routine life, a subtle, almost invisible force that numbs the joy once found in togetherness. If you have ever looked at your partner and thought, "We are just going through the motions," then you understand this silent challenge all too well. Boredom in relationships doesn't stem from a lack of love. It arises from a lack of novelty. Over decades of marriage or companionship, routines form for survival. Morning chores, caring for children, work, family obligations, and health concerns. But once those responsibilities begin to fade, when the children move out and retirement sets in, couples often find themselves trapped in a rhythm they never questioned. Without the excitement of growth or shared new experiences, even the most devoted partners can feel as though they're merely existing side by side, not truly living together. Scientific studies validate this phenomenon. Research from the University of Washington's Love Lab indicates that couples who continue to experience new things together after midlife, whether travel, hobbies, or even learning new skills, report significantly higher marital satisfaction. Dr. Grace Hargrove, a psychologist specializing in long-term relationships, states, "The brain craves novelty. When couples stop exploring life together, emotional disengagement often follows. But when they inject even small doses of surprise or change into their routine, the emotional bond can be revitalized." Let us reflect on the story of Martin and Olivia, married for 31 years. Every morning began the same: breakfast at 8, a walk at 10, television until bedtime. One day, Olivia turned to Martin and said, "We've stopped writing new pages in our book." "We're just rereading the old ones." That remark struck a chord. The next weekend, they took a pottery class together. Something they had never done. They laughed like children, their hands covered in clay, creating something imperfect but memorable. That one spontaneous act rekindled a joy they hadn't felt in years. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Boredom often signals the absence of why, a shared purpose, a sense of becoming, a goal beyond just surviving the day. Life after 50 is not the end of discovery. It is an invitation to explore what you missed when you were too busy living for others. To break free from the dullness of routine, couples must become curious again, not just about the world, but about each other. Ask questions like, "What dream did you give up that we could still chase together?" Or, "What's one new thing we've never tried as a couple?" Even cooking a new recipe or changing your weekend walk route can inject freshness into old patterns. In the golden years of life, it is not too late to fall in love again. Not just with each other, but with life itself. Boredom is not the end of romance. It is a signal, a whisper, a gentle nudge reminding you that even in the familiar, the extraordinary can be found again, if only you dare to look. Health issues, as time unfolds its inevitable truth, health challenges become one of the most profound tests couples face after 50. It is a harsh reality that the vitality of youth slowly wanes, and with it come chronic illnesses, mobility restrictions, and the daily battles with pain or fatigue. This physical decline does not strike one alone. It reverberates deeply through the partnership, creating new roles, responsibilities, and emotional strains. One partner may find themselves in the role of caregiver, balancing empathy with exhaustion, while the other struggles with feelings of vulnerability and loss of independence. This delicate and often painful dance of health challenges and caretaking. Stress is one of the most difficult chapters in a mature relationship. Health issues after 50 are rarely straightforward. They might begin as minor inconveniences, a lingering cough, an occasional ache, but often evolve into significant hurdles that shape the couple's daily life. The person requiring care may experience frustration, sadness, or even shame at their growing dependence, while the caregiver must suppress their own needs to provide constant support. This imbalance can breed resentment, isolation, or emotional distance if not openly acknowledged and addressed. Scientific research sheds light on the impact of caregiving within couples. According to a 2020 study published in the Journal of Aging and Health, caregivers are at increased risk of depression and cardiovascular illness, especially when lacking social support. Dr. Laura Peterson, a geriatric psychologist, explains, "Caregiving is an act of profound love but also an enormous responsibility. Without proper help and communication, both partners may suffer silently, and the relationship may fray." Consider the story of Harold and Elaine, married for over 40 years. When Elaine was diagnosed with arthritis, her once active lifestyle came to a halt. Harold, devoted yet overwhelmed, took on the role of caregiver. The strain was immense. Yet one evening, as they sat watching the sunset, Elaine whispered, "Even though my body fails, my heart still beats for you." Harold squeezed her hand and replied, "And mine beats for you, no matter what." Their mutual acknowledgement became a balm, reminding them that love endures beyond physical decline. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once observed, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." Though health challenges test couples, in unexpected ways they also offer opportunities to deepen compassion, patience, and intimacy. It is essential that both partners communicate openly about their fears and limitations, seeking external support when needed, and embracing moments of tenderness amidst the hardships. Self-care for the caregiver is equally vital. Respite, counseling, and shared responsibilities prevent burnout and preserve emotional connection. Small gestures, a warm embrace, a gentle word, shared laughter, become anchors of hope and strength. In the twilight years, health may not be as robust as before, but love need not weaken. With empathy, understanding, and shared courage, couples can navigate these challenges hand in hand, proving that, even in vulnerability, the human heart remains resilient and enduring. Financial stress. In the golden years of life, financial security often becomes the cornerstone upon which peace of mind is built. Yet, for many couples over 50, money transforms from a tool of freedom into a source of stress and anxiety. Retirement, once a dream of rest and leisure, can suddenly appear as an uncertain horizon, shadowed by concerns about dwindling savings, rising healthcare costs, and unforeseen expenses. This financial stress and retirement anxiety quietly infiltrate relationships, straining communication and sometimes sowing seeds of fear and mistrust. It is a deeply human challenge where the future feels fragile and the desire for stability clashes with economic realities. Money, while essential, carries an emotional weight far beyond numbers. After decades of work, couples approach retirement with hopes of security and comfort, only to find themselves navigating complex financial landscapes. The fear of outliving savings or becoming dependent on others can erode confidence. Disagreements about spending and saving habits may emerge, and the pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle can seem overwhelming. This emotional turmoil often remains unspoken, yet it profoundly affects the quality of partnership. Scientific studies underscore this reality. Research published in the Journal of Financial Therapy shows that financial conflict is among the leading predictors of marital dissatisfaction in later life. Dr. Kenneth Paulson, a behavioral economist, explains, financial stress impacts not just wallets but hearts and minds. When couples confront financial worries together with honesty and planning, they build resilience. When avoided, it breeds isolation and mistrust. Take the story of Robert and Susan, married for 35 years. As retirement approached, Robert grew anxious, obsessing over bills and investments, while Susan wished to enjoy their remaining years, traveling and exploring hobbies. Their conversations often ended in frustration and silence. One evening, Susan gently asked, "Are we saving money, or are we saving ourselves from each other?" This simple question opened the door to vulnerability and dialogue. Together, they consulted a financial advisor, set realistic goals, and found balance between prudence and enjoyment. Their partnership strengthened through shared commitment. Philosopher Seneca once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This timeless wisdom reminds us that true financial well-being is not the size of one's bank account, but the clarity of shared values and mutual understanding. To overcome financial stress and retirement anxiety, couples must cultivate openness and cooperation. Discussing finances openly, setting joint goals, and seeking expert advice are crucial steps. It is equally important to redefine what retirement means personally, focusing on health, happiness, and connection rather than material accumulation. In the final analysis, money is a means, not an end. When couples face financial challenges as a united front, they transform anxiety into opportunity. Through patience, trust, and shared vision, they can embrace retirement as a chapter rich with possibility, proving that true wealth lies in the strength of the partnership itself. Feeling distant from grown-up children. There comes a poignant moment in the lives of many couples over 50 when the once vibrant bond with their grown-up children begins to feel stretched, frayed, or distant. This subtle yet profound sense of separation is often accompanied by quiet longing, unspoken regrets, and the ache of changing roles within the family. As children carve their own paths, establish independent lives, and build their own families, parents can feel left behind, grappling with the question, have we become strangers in the lives we once guided? This feeling of distance from grown-up children is a delicate challenge that tests the resilience of family love and the strength of marital unity. The transition from active parenting to a more observational role is not always easy. Parents who devoted decades to nurturing and guiding may suddenly find themselves on the sidelines, their daily conversations replaced by sporadic calls or social media messages. The house that once echoed with laughter and chatter may now seem too quiet. Misunderstandings can arise when expectations remain unspoken and emotional needs go unmet. Yet, within this distance lies an opportunity for growth, renewal, and redefining relationships in ways that honor both independence and connection. Scientific research affirms the emotional complexity of this stage. According to a study published, in family relations, many parents experience feelings of loneliness and loss as children leave home, but positive communication and mutual respect foster healthier long-term relationships. Dr. Karen Fingerman, a leading expert on family dynamics, notes, emotional distance from adult children can feel like a rejection, but it often reflects the natural evolution of family roles. When couples work together to maintain open dialogue and set realistic expectations, they create a nurturing environment for both generations. Consider the story of David and Helen. Their 3 children had grown and moved to different cities. The couple felt a growing emptiness, their conversations turning toward memories rather than shared dreams. One evening, David confessed, "I fear we've lost them, but maybe we're just learning to love them differently." Helen smiled and added, "Perhaps it's time to invite them back. Not just in visits, but in our hearts and lives anew." They began regular video calls, shared photos, and planned joint holidays, nurturing connection despite the miles. The philosopher Khalil Gibran wisely wrote, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself." This beautiful truth invites parents to embrace their children's independence while cherishing the evolving relationship. It reminds couples that love expands rather than diminishes with distance. To bridge the gap, couples should support each other emotionally, avoid placing blame, and focus on strengthening their own relationship. Cultivating new shared interests, investing in friendships, and nurturing self-growth can help fill the space left by children's independence. In this stage of life, the bond with grown-up children may shift, but it need not break. With patience, understanding, and openness, couples can transform distance into a different kind of closeness, one built on respect, freedom, and enduring love. Jealousy or insecurity. Jealousy and insecurity, though often considered the troubles of youth, can quietly creep into the lives of couples over 50, casting long shadows over years of shared memories and trust. It is a paradox of human nature that with the passing of time, the heart can still harbor doubts and fears about one's worth, love, or the faithfulness of a partner. These feelings, if left unchecked, can corrode even the strongest bonds, creating walls where there once was openness. Understanding jealousy and insecurity at this stage of life is crucial for couples who wish to nurture lasting happiness and emotional harmony. Jealousy arises from fear of loss, rejection, or being replaced. In later life, these fears may be intensified by physical changes, reduced social interactions, or worries about relevance and desirability. Insecurity may manifest as suspicion over harmless interactions, excessive questioning, or withdrawal. The result is often emotional distance, misunderstandings, and conflicts that chip away at intimacy. Yet jealousy and insecurity also present an invitation to deeper self-awareness and mutual reassurance. Scientific studies reveal the damaging effects of unresolved jealousy in long-term relationships. A 2019 study in the Journal of Marital and Family Therapy found that jealousy is linked to decreased marital satisfaction and increased anxiety, but that couples who engage in open communication and empathy can effectively reduce its harmful impact. Dr. Emily Harper, a clinical psychologist, advises, "Jealousy is a natural emotion, but it must be addressed with honesty and vulnerability. Partners need to express their fears and affirm their commitment to restore trust." Take the example of George and Mary. After 50 years of marriage, George found himself uneasy whenever Mary chatted with old friends or took part in community events without him. Mary sensed his withdrawal and asked gently, "Why do you seem distant?" George confessed, "I fear I am no longer enough." Their heartfelt conversation opened the door to reassurance and renewed closeness. Mary embraced him and said, "You are my heart's companion, now and always." This simple affirmation rekindled their trust and intimacy. The philosopher Michel de Montaigne once said, "Jealousy is the fear or apprehension of superiority. Envy our uneasiness in regard to another's good fortune." This reflection invites couples to examine the roots of their jealousy, distinguishing between fear and reality. It encourages a shift from comparison to appreciation. Couples can overcome jealousy and insecurity by fostering transparency, practicing patience, and cultivating emotional safety. Regularly expressing love and appreciation helps alleviate fears. Engaging in shared activities, maintaining individual friendships, and seeking counseling when needed can further strengthen the relationship. In the autumn of life, love may encounter unexpected storms, but jealousy need not be one of them. With courage and kindness, couples can transform insecurity into reassurance, building a sanctuary of trust where their bond may flourish undisturbed. Lack of appreciation. In the long voyage of marriage, appreciation acts as the gentle wind that keeps the sails of love filled and the course steady. Yet, for many couples over 50, the daily rituals and decades of shared life can dull the once vivid recognition of each other's efforts and sacrifices. This lack of appreciation, though subtle, can erode the foundation of respect and affection, leaving partners feeling unseen, undervalued, and emotionally distant. Understanding the power of appreciation and its role in nurturing enduring love is essential for couples seeking to rekindle warmth and connection in their golden years. Appreciation is more than a simple thank you. It is the acknowledgement of the countless, often unseen ways each partner contributes to the relationship, from caregiving and emotional support to shared responsibilities and the maintenance of household harmony. When appreciation fades, resentment may quietly grow, and small frustrations can become overwhelming grievances. This neglect can lead to a sense of loneliness within the marriage, as partners begin to question their worth and place in each other's lives. Scientific research affirms the vital role appreciation plays in relationship satisfaction. According to a 2017 study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, couples who regularly express gratitude and recognition report higher levels of intimacy and happiness. Dr. Helen Fisher, a renowned anthropologist, explains, appreciation releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, fostering feelings of safety and attachment. Its absence can create emotional withdrawal and decreased marital satisfaction. Consider the story of Thomas and Margaret, who after 40 years of marriage found themselves drifting apart in silence. Thomas felt his efforts to maintain their home and support Margaret went unnoticed, while Margaret longed for a simple acknowledgement of her dedication. One evening, Margaret surprised Thomas with a heartfelt letter expressing her gratitude. Thomas, moved to tears, replied, "I never realized how much my small acts meant to you." Their exchange reignited a cycle of appreciation that brought renewed joy and closeness. The philosopher William James wisely observed, "The deepest craving of human nature is the need to be appreciated." This profound insight reminds couples that acknowledgement is a fundamental human desire, essential for emotional nourishment and connection. To overcome the lack of appreciation, couples must cultivate mindfulness and intentionality in recognizing each other's contributions. Simple daily affirmations, genuine compliments, and acts of kindness can restore the sense of being valued. Open conversations about feelings and needs help prevent misunderstandings and build empathy. In the tapestry of long-lasting love, appreciation is the golden thread that binds hearts together. By honoring each other's worth and expressing sincere gratitude, couples over 50 can transform routine into ritual, indifference into affection, and distance into deep, abiding connection. Emptiness or lack of purpose. In the quiet spaces of life after 50, a profound sense of emptiness or lack of purpose can sometimes settle in like an unwelcome guest. After decades of pursuing careers, raising families, and meeting countless responsibilities, Couples may suddenly find themselves facing a void where ambition and daily meaning once thrived. This existential challenge is not merely about passing time. It is about grappling with the question, what now? The experience of emptiness can cloud joy, dampen connection, and leave partners feeling adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Understanding this emotional landscape is crucial for couples who wish to rediscover vitality and shared meaning in their later years. Purpose, as a guiding star, gives direction and fuels the human spirit. Without it, even the most loving relationships can suffer. When the children have grown, careers have ended, and social roles shift, couples must find new ways to create significance and fulfillment. The absence of purpose often breeds sadness, restlessness, and a sense of invisibility. Yet within this emptiness lies a powerful invitation, the opportunity to explore new passions, deepen spiritual awareness, and strengthen the bond between partners. Scientific studies highlight the importance of purpose in enhancing well-being in older adults. Research from the Journal of Positive Psychology shows that individuals with a strong sense of purpose experience lower rates of depression and greater life satisfaction. Dr. Viktor Frankl, a renowned psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, famously stated, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." His words remind us that meaning is the cornerstone of resilience and joy. Consider the story of Alice and John, who after retiring found their days stretching endlessly, filled with a growing silence. One afternoon, John suggested volunteering at a local community garden. Alice hesitated but agreed. Soon, their shared involvement in nurturing life and connecting with neighbors rekindled their spirits and deepened their companionship. John reflected, "Purpose gave us a new reason to wake up, and with it, our love blossomed again." The philosopher Albert Camus once mused, "You will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life." This paradox invites couples to embrace the present, find joy in shared moments, and create purpose through action rather than mere contemplation. To overcome emptiness, couples should communicate openly about their feelings, explore new hobbies or causes together, and support each other's individual growth. Setting small goals, practicing gratitude, and fostering spiritual or creative pursuits can reignite a sense of direction. In the later chapters of life, emptiness need not signify an end, but rather a beginning, a chance for couples to craft fresh narratives filled with purpose, passion, and profound connection. Together, they can transform the void into fertile ground for renewed love and meaning. And thank you for watching till the end. Remember, love and happiness after 50 are possible when we understand, support, and grow together. Keep these lessons close to your heart, and as Seneca said, "True wealth is to live content with little." May your journey be filled with joy, purpose, and renewed connection. Stay inspired, and take care.